When we think of beauty, many of us imagine something perfect, a painting without a mistake, a piece of music without a wrong note, or a body without a flaw. But real life is not like this. Life is full of small cracks, missing pieces, and unfinished corners. These are not mistakes to be erased. They are part of the deeper beauty of being alive. Imagine a handmade bowl. It may not be smooth like a factory-made object. Its surface may carry marks of the hands that shaped it. At first you may think it looks rough, but if you stay with it, you begin to feel its story. Each line, each uneven part, tells you it was made with care and effort. The beauty is not in its perfection, but in its living presence. In our daily lives, we also carry marks and cracks. We may regret choices or wish for a different past. Yet these very marks show the path we have walked. They are reminders that we are still here, still breathing, still moving forward. To see beauty beyond perfection is to accept these marks as part of the whole picture. True beauty is not something that shines because it is flawless. It shines because it is real. It allows space for the unfinished and the imperfect to be included. When we let go of the narrow idea of perfection, we open ourselves to a wider view of beauty, one that welcomes the incomplete, the fragile, and the ongoing. Many of us are taught to think that the goal is the most important part of any journey. We hear that success means reaching the finish line, completing the task, or arriving at the final answer. Yet much of life is never complete. Projects are left unfinished, plans change, and dreams shift with time. This does not mean those journeys are wasted. In fact, their value often lies in the steps we take along the way. Think of a traveler who sets out on a long road. Perhaps he never reaches the city he hoped to see. But along the road, he meets people, learns stories, and discovers places he did not expect. The journey gives him experiences that shape his heart, even without the final destination. The unfinished path still holds meaning. In the same way, our lives are filled with paths that do not end as we imagined. Friendships may fade, work may remain incomplete, and goals may stay out of reach. But if we look closely, we can see that these journeys gave us gifts. They gave us lessons, connections, and memories. They shaped us in ways we could not have planned. The value of an incomplete journey is not measured by what is missing. It is measured by what it has given along the way. To see this is to free ourselves from disappointment. We can honor the road itself instead of only longing for the destination. The beauty of life is not found in finishing everything. It is found in walking with open eyes and an open heart, even when the path remains unfinished. We often imagine strength as something solid, complete, and unbroken. A strong wall has no cracks, a strong person shows no weakness, and a strong life has no doubts. Yet true strength is not always like this. Many times, strength is quiet and hidden inside the very imperfections we try to cover. Think of an old tree standing on a hillside. Its trunk may be twisted, and its branches may carry scars from storms. Some branches may be missing altogether. But year after year the tree remains. Its imperfections are not signs of weakness. They are proof of its endurance, of the storms it has faced and survived. The tree does not need to be perfect to be strong. In our own lives, the same truth holds. The challenges we have faced, the mistakes we have made, and the breaks we carry within us are part of our strength. They remind us that we can keep going, even when life is not smooth. What looks broken on the outside may be the very thing that makes us steady on the inside. The quiet strength of imperfection is not loud. It does not shine like a polished stone. It rests calmly in the marks of time and experience. When we recognize this, we begin to see ourselves and others with new eyes. We see that strength is not the absence of flaws, but the presence of resilience. To honor imperfection is to honor the quiet strength that flows through all living things. It allows us to accept our cracks, not as failures, but as reminders that we have lived, struggled, and endured. And in that endurance, we find a beauty deeper than any perfect surface could ever offer. When we look at nature, we see that nothing is ever truly finished. A flower blooms, then fades. A river cuts through rock, but never completes its work. The mountains rise slowly, shaped by wind and rain, over endless years. Nothing in nature is perfect or final, yet everything carries a beauty that takes our breath away. Consider the changing of the seasons. Spring brings blossoms, but they soon fall to the ground. Summer gives long days, yet they slip into autumn. Winter covers the earth in silence, but soon it too gives way. None of these moments stay forever, yet their impermanence is what makes them precious. The unfinished cycle of nature teaches us to see beauty in change, not impermanence. Think also of the coastline. The waves never stop shaping the shore. Each tide leaves the beach a little different than before. We may walk there today and return tomorrow to see new patterns of sand, shells, and stones. The shore is never complete, yet this endless process is its beauty. In our own lives, we can learn from this. We do not need to be finished to be whole. Just as the tree grows and the river flows, we are also in motion. The beauty of who we are lies in this ongoing movement. To accept the unfinished parts of ourselves is to live in harmony with the same rhythm that shapes the stars and the sea. Nature whispers to us that life's beauty does not depend on perfection. It depends on the dance of becoming, on the flow of change, and on the grace of the unfinished. When we listen carefully, we discover that we too are part of this endless, unfinished song. When something is unfinished, it leaves a space. At first, this space may feel uncomfortable, like a missing piece of a puzzle or a silence in the middle of a song. We often rush to fill it, believing that only completion brings peace. Yet the space left open can also hold its own quiet beauty. Think of a painting where the artist does not fill the entire canvas. The untouched space around the colours gives room for the eye to breathe. Without that open space, the painting would feel heavy and crowded. The unfinished part does not weaken the artwork. Instead, it allows balance and depth to appear. In music too, silence has power. A pause between notes can make the next sound more meaningful. The listener feels the weight of what is not played, as much as the notes that are. Without silence, the music would lose its shape. The open space is not empty. It is alive with potential. In our lives, the same truth exists. The dreams we never complete, the words we leave unsaid, and the paths we do not finish, create open spaces within us. These spaces are not failures. They are places where imagination, memory, and possibility can live. They remind us that life is larger than our ability to control or finish it. To welcome the space left open is to allow life to breathe. It teaches us that beauty is not only in what is present, but also in what is absent. The unfinished space carries its own mystery, inviting us to rest in what cannot be fully known. And in that openness, we may find a deeper sense of peace than completion could ever give. When something breaks, our first feeling is often sadness or regret. A cup slips from the hand and shatters. A cherished object cracks. A structure falls apart. We see the broken form as ruined, as if its story has ended. Yet brokenness can also teach us to see beauty in a new way. Imagine holding a piece of pottery that has been repaired. The cracks may still show. perhaps even highlighted by the lines of repair. The object is no longer as it once was, yet it carries a deeper story. Its brokenness reveals both its fragility and its survival. What once seemed ruined now speaks of endurance and care. In nature we see this often. Rocks are shaped by the breaking of wind and water. Seashells wash ashore with missing edges, yet they shine in their own unique form. A fallen branch may lie on the ground, but it becomes part of the forest floor, feeding new life. What is broken is not wasted. It changes into something else. In our lives, we too carry breaks and cracks. Relationships may fracture, health may weaken, dreams may fall apart. At first, these breaks may feel like endings, but over time, they can reveal hidden strengths, unexpected turns, and new ways of being. The broken form does not erase our value. Instead, it shows the depth of our journey. To learn from broken forms is to soften our view of life. It allows us to see that even when something cannot be restored to its original state, it can still carry beauty. The cracks remind us that nothing lasts forever, yet even in change and loss, there is meaning. What is broken can still shine with its own quiet light. Life rarely moves in straight lines. Instead, it flows in curves, pauses, and unexpected turns. Much of what we begin does not end in the way we imagined. Some tasks remain unfinished, some questions remain unanswered, and some hopes remain open. While this may seem like a weakness, there is a gentle rhythm in incompletion that gives life its depth. Think of the sea. Each wave rises, curls, and falls back. No single wave completes the ocean, and yet together they create an endless rhythm. The ocean does not seek to be finished. Its beauty is found in movement without end. In the same way, our lives carry many waves of effort and rest, beginning and pausing, doing and leaving undone. Consider also a garden. A gardener plants seeds, but some do not grow. Others sprout, but never reach full bloom. Still, the garden is alive. Its incompletion gives space for surprise, change, and renewal. A perfect garden would never move, never change, and never truly live. Our own days echo this pattern. The projects left open, the stories untold, and the dreams half-formed are not failures. They are part of the rhythm of being human. They remind us that we are not machines built to complete tasks, but living beings shaped by time and chance. To embrace this gentle rhythm is to rest in the knowledge that we do not need to finish everything to live fully. The pauses, the gaps, and the unfinished pieces are not empty spaces. They are part of the music of our existence. When we accept them, we begin to hear the soft harmony that flows through life itself. When something is lost or left unfinished, our first feeling may be sorrow. We think of what could have been, of what never came to completion. But if we stay with that feeling a little longer, we may begin to notice something else. Even in what is incomplete, there is still something that remains, and within that remainder, peace can be found. Imagine a book with its last pages missing. At first, you may feel frustrated, never knowing how the story ends. But as you reflect, you may realize that the story already gave you moments of beauty, characters to remember, and ideas that touched your heart. The missing ending does not take away what you have already received. In the same way, when a chapter of life closes without the ending we expected, the memories, lessons, and traces it left behind remain. They do not vanish simply because the whole is unfinished. A friendship that ended still gave laughter and warmth. A project left undone still carried effort and creativity. A dream unfulfilled still guided our steps for a time. The peace of the unfinished comes when we shift our gaze from what is missing to what is still here. We can hold what remains gently, without regret, and allow it to be enough. Life rarely gives us complete stories, but it always gives us pieces of meaning along the way. To find peace in what remains is not to deny our longing for completion. It is to rest in the truth that even the fragments are worthy. They hold the light of what once was, and in that light we can still breathe, still be grateful, and still find quiet beauty. Every story we hear or live carries a beginning, a middle, and often we expect an ending. But many stories in life remain unfinished. A loved one passes before their dreams are complete. A friendship fades without clear closure. A goal we carried in our hearts is never fully reached. At first, these unfinished stories may feel like open wounds, yet within them lies a hidden gift. Think of a tale told around a fire. If the storyteller stops before the end, the listeners begin to imagine how it might continue. Each person sees a different path, a different possibility. The unfinished story invites us into creativity. It gives us space to wonder, to dream, and to shape our own meaning. In the same way, the unfinished stories of our lives invite us to live with openness. When we do not know how something ends, we are free to imagine new beginnings. What appears incomplete may actually be a doorway into growth, compassion, or courage. The gift is not in the ending, but in the invitation to continue in our own way. Even loss can carry this gift. The projects left behind by those we love, the dreams they could not finish, become part of our own journey. We may carry them forward, or simply hold them in memory. Either way, the unfinished story connects us, reminding us that no life is ever fully closed. The beauty of an unfinished story is that it leaves room for us. It allows our hearts to join in the telling. And when we see it this way, we realize that incompletion is not only about what is missing, it is also about what is still possible, waiting quietly within the open space. As we come to the end of these reflections, let us pause for a moment. We have looked at the unfinished not as a failure, but as a doorway into beauty. We have seen how imperfection, brokenness, and open spaces can carry meaning. And we have remembered that life itself is always in motion, never truly complete, always unfolding. To carry this into daily life is to soften our hearts toward ourselves and others. We do not need to demand perfection. We do not need to close every story. It is enough to live with openness, to honor what remains, and to see the quiet strength that lies in what is unfinished. When we hold life this way, we discover peace, even in the midst of change. Before closing, I wish to share my deep gratitude with you. Each view, each kind comment, and each gesture of support is felt with sincerity. For those who offer likes, who choose to subscribe, or who take time to share thoughts in the comments, I am truly thankful. To those who give through super thanks, or who join as members, please know that your presence is deeply valued. This space exists because of the warmth and kindness you bring. Your support allows these words to reach others, and your listening makes them alive. For this, I bow in gratitude. Let us part here with a gentle reminder. The unfinished is not a loss, but a gift. May we walk forward, holding this truth, seeing beauty not only in what is whole, but also in what is still becoming. And may the quiet grace of incompletion bring you peace in the days ahead.